Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'd like to invite or welcome everybody to the August 17th, 2021 Ashland Board of Health meeting. Like to make a little disclaimer first that this agenda is subject to change and includes those items reasonably anticipated by the chair to be discussed at the meeting. Not all agenda items may in fact be discussed, and other items listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. So with that, we'll call the meeting to order. It is 6:05, and anybody for citizens participation? Mark, KG, what do you got?
Yeah, I just have a KG here from Concord, Mass, 27 Potter Street. I just wanted to keep that straightforward. The only thing that I've been attending both the Conservation Commission meeting as well as the Planning Board meetings, and I've been closely watching the school project, which is an exciting one to get it. But I do want to underline one fact that our past members like John Featherston, Charles Legacy, as well as Judith Teller, and of course, late Mary Martinson, have been concerned about the air quality in the schools before, and the heat stress that happens. I just want to make sure that the current building that's being built takes care of this into account. Particularly the new building that's being built has plans for underground drainage system. That means there could be causes for high humidity in the lower levels of the building. So dehumidification must be taken into account. I wish they come to the Board of Health, or if the Board of Health can weigh in on that to make sure it is healthy enough for the children. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, KG.
Yeah.
Mark?
Okay, yep, my turn. Evening, Mark, 749 Hawthorne Road, Ashland, Mass. Sometimes I wish I could live in Concord with KG. You'd be all happy again. To me, it's the Mendez School, because they have a meeting, but not on air. Is at the Mendez Library. It's going on at 6:30 and talking about the building itself. But yeah, part of what I'm having to think about is what KG brought up is the water, and I'm want to make sure that the Board of Health can have some sort of say in the noise bylaw and and any sort of septic and the basin lines, although the water drainage and all that, because it would be over the use, but not completely coherent yet, because nobody's really talking about it as a Board of Health, as a health issue. But the water there, and the any sort of fumage that leaves the area, that it's got to be an open air construction. So I'm looking to see if the Board of Health can get some sort of talking with their board about anything that has to do with it. Like for example, would be the public safety building, and how that was getting going, the storm drainage and all that stuff, and the noise and what escapes into the air. And for that's it.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Nobody else? Okay. I guess we can move on to the COVID-19 update, and that Superman Sergeant Berman, please.
Hi, everyone.
Give us your report.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Obviously our numbers are going up. We're very consistent with everybody around us also. As of this morning, we have 22 open cases. That came down a little bit from last week, where we were, I believe it was 32. So we've come down a little bit. So right now we're at that point where we gain a few every day, and a few come off. They complete their isolation and they come off. The interesting thing, though, is we're at a 50-50 split now as of today. So what I mean by that is we have 11 cases are breakthrough cases. So those are fully vaccinated people that have come down with COVID. And then we have 11 unvaccinated. So what I did also was I looked at an additional split. So interestingly, 4 of the 11 got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. 4 got Moderna and 3 got Pfizer. So again, kind of that very equal across the board. The other interesting thing to note is a majority of these breakthrough cases are living in a household with a non-vaccinated person that got COVID. So I think one of the reasons, obviously we talk about the Delta variant is more contagious, but I also think that the reason that some of these vaccinated people ended up getting COVID was from the continual exposure over and over again from that positive person. Of our, out of all of our cases, out of the total 22, there's only 1 that's hospitalized, but is stable. So again, that's a good news also. So that's kind of the numbers right there. I sent out an email early this morning to all town employees. I also worked with Ashley, who does our social media, and she posted that we're going to be running a vaccine clinic next Tuesday from 8 a.m. till noon. I worked with the state and with Mass Bay Community College for this clinic. Obviously, we needed a location that was air conditioned. So again, obviously I could have used our schools, but none of them are air conditioned. So, and we can't predict the weather. So I worked with Mass Bay. They offered us their building at 270 Elliott Street next Tuesday morning. We sent out a link for people to register for an appointment. The goal is for us to do approximately 24 an hour is the goal. We can go higher depending on the demand. I don't think the demand is going to be high, but Susan Petroni also posted it in the Framingham Source today. The other thing, just to be a good neighbor, I did reach out to the school superintendent and the health directors in all of our collaboratives of part of our 7-town collaborative, just to push that out also if they needed any availability. Any questions on that?
I got one, Sergeant Berman.
Yep.
Do you need any help on Tuesday?
No, actually, it's all supplied by the state. Just I have to be there for a little bit to get it going. I'm going to meet the chief of police from Mass Bay Community College. He's going to meet me there, make sure all the doors and everything that they need open are open. They pretty much are going to run the show.
Okay, excellent.
Which was great. I offered help. I said, tell me what you need. And they're like, no, we got it. Like, okay. So I think we're good there. If anything changes, I'll certainly let anybody know.
Okay.
I also want to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barbara.
So, and there's no age restriction on that one, right? It's open to everybody.
So 12. So at that clinic, you have the choice that when you register for the clinic, you have a choice of either Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson. But remember, for Pfizer, it's for 12 years old and above. And for the Johnson & Johnson, it's 18 years old and above. Okay, also coming up, Raj and I will probably be getting an email tomorrow. We are going to plan either this week or next week. There's going to be a meeting of the 7-town collaborative that you know that we're all part of. And we are going to start to pre-plan this potential booster of Moderna and Pfizer at that 8-month mark. So we are going to have a planning meeting. The health director from Northborough is just going to do a doodle poll. And so I'll be able to report back to you on that most likely at the next meeting where that's going. Also today, I sent in all of our paperwork to the Department of Public Health so that we can run flu clinics this fall. So all of our materials in, we are ready to go. The only thing I have to do is we took receipt 2 weeks ago of a brand new vaccine refrigerator / freezer. I have to install the temperature meters and send them 48 hours worth of temperature readings before we are allowed to receive any vaccine. But all the paperwork is in and that is ready to go. A couple more quick things. Sorry, it's been busy. Tomorrow night is the forum. I wanted to remind everybody for the schools to talk about masking when schools reopen on the 30th. That is just a forum for parents to do input, different things like that. And the school committee is going to vote later on in the week. Also, I've been meeting with the schools. It looks like we are going to go with what's called a test and stay program in the fall. And what that is if a child, and again, the parent will have to sign off on this. If we think that a child had a potential exposure, the goal is to keep them in school. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Binex Now tests. That obviously the child will be masked all the time, but the child will come into school. They'll go right to the nurse's office. They will be tested every day for 7 days. If they test negative and have no symptoms, they stay in school. If they develop any symptoms, they're out. So as long as they're asymptomatic, they'll be tested every day. The goal is to keep these kids in school as long as we possibly can. Again, more information will follow on that. I'm going to be working every day with the school nurses on any of these potentials and monitoring with them. I know I've kind of went on a lot today. Questions or, yeah.
With the potential exposure, Ed, is there a mask mandate for those children or students, even if there aren't for the rest of the students?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, and honestly, I think we're heading to fully masked anyway for the time being. But again, yes, it does come with the mask mandate.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And if the parent chooses that they don't want the child in this program, then they would be home, they would be quarantined, test on day 5, just like the regular thing, and they can return to school on day 8, just like we've been doing.
Yeah. But I think that getting the COVID-19 clinic, is great that you did that. I really like the fact that you also included all the collaborative towns that we're with, because unfortunately it'd be great to fill that up, even if it's not specifically for Ashland residents. So I think that's really, good work. So, thank you again for everything that you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's it. Anybody else? Anything? Okay. And Laura, just a quick question for you. As far as number 4 goes, review of the regulations for the Board of Health relative to keeping of animals. I know that was kind of Diane's little project. Do we need to vote on that to table it until our next meeting, or can I just make that call?
Tonight was just a discussion. So,
okay.
And Donna's here and she can talk about it.
Oh, great.
At least start the discussion, I would
Okay.
think.
All right, great. Oh, I didn't see, I saw Donna before, but now I don't see her. Hi, Donna, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Hi,
I read everything. It's very inclusive. You want to kind of take the lead on this and tell us your thoughts or things you'd like to have changed, or did you work on this with Diane?
I haven't. I did work on her a little bit with it. I haven't seen what she has written up.
Okay.
So I don't know what we talked about what we liked and what we didn't like.
Okay.
I know we're looking at smaller property sizes for chicken permits, and I'm not quite sure of any of the rest at this time.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't seen the final draft.
Yeah. Well, it's very inclusive. It has specifications for every different animal as far as what their pens can be, what their exercise areas are.
Right.
all the regulations regarding to where they can be placed, regulations regarding how they're fed, how they're kept, how waste is
Right.
removed. It's very, very inclusive. I don't know enough to know what I don't know, but it seems like
Okay.
everything's covered in here. Raj,
will-
can you add? Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
I'm sorry, Donna.
I'm going to speak to Diane and see if, before the next meeting, to see if I can get a copy of the draft
Yeah.
that she has.
And that's what I was trying to say. We'll send you a copy, Donna, yes,
Yeah,
we'll be able to send you the copy.
right.
I think it was included, but, okay.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get one over to you, Donna. Laurie, can you make sure she gets a
Okay.
copy of that?
Yeah, I think it was included when I sent you the agenda last
Oh,
week.
okay.
So you should have it, Donna.
Okay, I'll go back and look at the email. I did not see it, so I
Okay.
didn't open it and read it.
Yeah, it's just that
For
as
tonight's meeting.
everything's an attachment, it's up there. So,
Okay.
okay. Raj, anything that you have questions or concerns about regarding this?
Dr. Ron, thanks. But yeah, I did read the whole draft too,
Okay,
very detailed, but no questions, so.
okay.
uh,
John or Barbara, anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I had 5 specific comments or
Okay.
questions, but I'm wondering, should I just, do you think, wait until next week?
Well, just, I mean, you can, why don't you just tell us what
Yeah.
they are? This way we can,
Yeah.
I'd
Right.
like to know.
Sure. So
Sure.
in the first section under definitions, variance, is that the same as a waiver? I'm not sure who I should direct that to, but
Yeah.
No, I can't really speak to that. A variance, isn't that through the,
It basically means the same thing, yes.
Yeah, I would,
variance through the board?
it sounds like semantics, but I'm not sure.
okay.
Okay,
So I wonder if that should be added in there somewhere, but in case somebody else, because I think in the application, there's mention of a waiver.
Right.
So, or there's a waiver
Right.
form, so it could get confusing. The second
okay,
question I had, well, this is more of a detail thing, but there is an indentation that I think wasn't meant to be there, and it is in, that's why I wasn't sure if you wanted to go through this right now, but section D. Looks like number 3, subsection I. Looks like application fee as indicated on the current Board of Health schedule of fees. I think that's indented and should not be. So it looks like it's a subsection of H, as at least on my copy.
All right, I got that down. I can fix that.
Yep.
okay.
And then in the next, section 4, right below that.
Okay,
Sorry, mine is very small, so I'm trying to squint. Okay, so this is about abutters.
Yep.
And abutters being notified by certified mail. And
Yep.
my question here was, let's see, is receipt of certified mail included in the application? If abutters do not comment within 14 days, is that considered consent by the abutter for the application?
It's a good question.
So it looks like the applicant will send a certified letter. The form seems to be provided by the town in the application. That would go to the abutting neighbor. The neighbor would receive that. The applicant would receive a receipt. I'm assuming that the applicant includes that receipt with the application as proof
right.
that they have
Right.
sent it.
I like your question. This is the only thing I'm going to say, regarding that, which is probably why I'm on the Board of Health from KG. I think that it's only required that they give a notice with respect to the regulation and completing it. And obviously anybody can come to the Board of Health since we're granting that permit. But if we grant the permit, it kind of, not that I don't want to say it doesn't matter what the abutters say, but it kind of doesn't matter what the abutters say. So they need to be, they need to be informed, but they don't unfortunately they don't get a vote in the process. They can ask us, but just as my specific example is, I was in a abutter to a development that was going to be built on what I thought was conservation land behind me. But when I went, to the meeting and said, well, they said, that's great. We're obligated to tell you, but you basically have no say in the matter. So it's still up to us to grant that waiver or variance. I think it's just part of the regulation that I think people will have a chance that they have at least 2 weeks to voice concerns to the Board of Health or the health agent, and at least make their feelings known, if they feel like the plan or they don't feel like it's something that they'd like to have. Is that your understanding, Raj?
Yes, sir. So what I can understand, if they have not commented and you got your seat that it got delivered to them, that means that you have notified, If they have any objection, they will raise with our office or to the Board of Health, Otherwise, it seems it's delivered and we are good on that.
And it's usually sent with a letter, with notification of when the next meeting date would be. So it would be a letter and notifying the abutters the date of the hearing.
Okay. So it sounds to me like what you're saying.
But it's good. We should make sure that that's clear.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was going to say, Ron.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I think that it's the regulation to notify everybody and then give them a chance if they have objections, but it's still up to us as a board to make the final call, regardless of what somebody may or may not object to. So, but that's a good call.
All right. My next comment was on renewals. And Laura, you and I had a conversation about renewal applications, but it seems like the renewal form as it stands now is just the application form.
Right.
Now, but I imagine that the applicant or the renewing applicant doesn't need to send out the certified. Yeah, it's more of a modified version of the application.
Like instead of redoing the whole, the plan, the manure plan and all that, those documents that they have to include that veterinarian's name and all that, rather than resending 3 pages, you're thinking that it should just be like a form that says that you're updating and everything is the same?
I mean, otherwise, folks will be sending in and going through the, sending this certified letter to the abutters. And I mean, if they were just using the application as is.
Right. I know Raj is working on recreating a lot of our applications. Maybe that's one that we can look at, Raj.
Yes, Dr. John, it's going to be very simple renewal process, So we're not going to take the paper back again, So it's going to be just a renewal because there's a yearly fees to it, and people's intent to keep that going, So just to make sure that people want to renew also for the next year, So it's like a yearly permit. So, but all that paperwork won't be needed at the time of renewal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be a simpler, like as we do with the restaurants, when the restaurant have to open at the first, we ask a lot of paperwork, the plans and all that's good stuff. But at the renewal, it's just simple application with a couple of other documents and that's all.
Okay. Thank you. And the last comment I had, let's see. So in section E, general requirements, number 1, looks like subsection B6, it says no less than the minimum setback distances required in the Ashland zoning bylaw for any animal structure, but it doesn't so there are it looks like there are setbacks and distances listed above that. And again, I'm sorry, because I've got this really minimized. But for that, other setbacks, so I'm thinking of distance off the property line, for example. Are we wanting applicants to go and consult with the Ashland zoning bylaws, or should we be putting those numbers in here?
I can answer that also. We did had a word with our zoning officer as well as the boss, so like the zoning officers department. So we're going to be reviewing it with them, and they're going to bring their regulation on par with us. Right now, I mean, this can be our requirements, and the zoning have different requirements. But once we go through this process, we're going to bring the zoning, and they're going to actually bring the zoning requirements on par with our requirements here. So like, that distances or setbacks is going to be almost similar with in the zoning department as well. If that answers your question,
Yeah.
But right now, zoning department have their own requirements, as far as setbacks and all that is required with this,
Okay. All right, very good. Yeah, that's all I had. Thanks, folks.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, John.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Barbara, anything that you wanted to chat about with this, or should we move on?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. And
Hey, Ron, real quick.
Yeah.
I just emailed the board the information from DESI just about that test and stay program, just so you had it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. And also, Sergeant Berman, you don't need to, you probably have better things to do. Obviously, you're welcome to stay, but you're busy as heck. Why don't you go enjoy the rest of the night? I don't think we have, a ton of things, but, feel free. Obviously, we love having you and appreciate everything you're doing. So, Laura, should we wait for the appointment of the burial agents for the other members? Because I know we tabled that last time too. So.
Well, there was a discussion, Rush could explain too. I think he spoke with Diane about the length, the duration of the appointment.
Okay.
Whether it would be indefinite or year.
Dr. Ron, yes, it's up to you if you want to do that in the next, but late evening, I did had a discussion with Diane about the time. I mean, the clerk's office is okay if, again, for 1 year duration. Earlier, this was the question, we did reach out to our town's attorney, and there is no definite timeline on that, like from their end, but now it's up to the board how much time they want to grant this provisions, so.
Okay. When you spoke with Diane, was she good with keeping it at yearly appointments?
That's correct. She said she will recommend it to the board for 1 year again, so that was my word with her.
Okay. And you're good with that as well?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Anybody like to make a motion to, all right, well, we can just, now that we know that that's part of the consent agenda, and along with the minutes, I guess maybe we should just, make that more official. Maybe we can kind of take it out of the consent agenda. Actually, I guess we don't have to. We can just use it, as one now that everybody knows. So anybody like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda as reviewed, meaning the appointment of the burial agents and the approval of minutes from June 8th, and June 22nd.
Yeah,
Barbara.
I'll make the motion to accept the consent agenda with appointments and review of and approval of the minutes.
Okay. Anybody second that? Barbara?
I'll second that. Aye,
Okay.
Barbara. Yeah.
Terrific. All in favor? Aye, Ron.
Hi, Jay.
Aye, Barbara.
Aye, Barbara. Okay, great. That passes 3-0. Thank you, everybody. And Raj, you're up.
Thank you, sir, again. So I want to update the board on Metrowest shared public health grant. we had a meeting a couple of weeks back. They have almost finalized all the positions. There are going to be 5 positions. They'll be posting it soon and then hiring candidates for the grant, for filling the grant. And hopefully in like maybe 3 months time, we'll have the services available for the town, And I guess Dr. J was there last time. They're going to be 5 positions under this grant. We have 1 full-time health director, 1 epidemiologist, 1 public health nurse, 1 inspector, and 1 coordinator under this grant. And there are 8 towns around us who are going to be part of this, and we're going to be sharing the services with them. And it's under a grant from DPH. We are getting $300,000 every year for next 3 years to get for these services.
Is that per town, or is that in total for the 8 towns to share?
So for total for 8 towns.
8 towns. Okay, that's what I thought, but okay.
On the arbovirus, I did send a report to the board a couple of days back. So there are 40 West Nile virus water sample cases so far. Very, very great that so far in Massachusetts this year, we don't have a single case of EEE or West Nile virus so far. Same with any animals or mammals. All these, the 40 cases are in water samples. So hopefully we don't see anything. About our beach, the Upper Hopkinton Beach is still closed for swimming. There's going to be a retest tomorrow. The results for last week came out good, but the state said they're going to look for 2 positive samples, like 2 clear samples for cyanobacteria before they open the beach back for swimming. So hopefully we have some good news tomorrow or day after. We got plans from the restaurant Mazzy for outdoor seating that I have reviewed in the past couple of weeks, and we have given them approval for outdoor seating today. The plan for Shaw's, they're doing some renovations, are still under review, and hopefully in a couple of days or next week, we will be done with that. So that's all I have. And any questions from anybody, please, I'm here to answer.
Not a question. I'm just shocked, when I saw the report that said 0 EEE,
That's right,
just
sir.
shocked. I mean, especially with what happened a few years ago, because I thought we'd be, in the danger zone, for a number of years, but that's amazing.
We was in the beginning of season, we are still in critical phase, that's what they have put us, but we're trying our best. We have dealt with 2 abandoned pools. The town got a lot of sprayings. The aerial spraying, door-to-door spraying. And we are pushing it through our social media also almost every week about the caution our public can take. The community can take to avoid this. So
and all the standing water notices for people to look out for those. Those are very beneficial.
Thank you,
as
sir.
well. Yeah. So,
and it's going out every week, like Ashley and Beth from our communication teams, they're helping us a lot,
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay. And sorry, my mistake, everybody. I skipped over 5. So just to kind of backtrack for a second, I think we should all be together as a board to review any other goals or objectives that we may have, and to potentially figure out a time maybe in September, October, when we can all get together. So that would kind of bring us up to 8, which is agenda topics for future meetings. So we'll throw that on the next agenda meeting. Hopefully we'll all be in attendance without family emergencies, so we can review that. Is there anything else anybody wants to put on the meeting? I know that Ed'll be back again. I know Laura has reached out to the superintendent of schools, Jim Adams, who's a terrific guy. I know they're working on things, just as Ed had said. I guess they're going to have a meeting tomorrow, so he can update us on that. It'd be a nice public service, especially for people like me that don't have school age kids. So I don't know exactly what the plans are. It seems like, again, I haven't spoken with with Jim, but it seems like a couple of years ago when everything started, he said that he wasn't getting a lot of mandates from the state and that each school district in town was kind of doing things individually. So I know he has a lot of leadway with the school board to kind of implement what they all feel are going to keep, the kids and the teachers safe. But it'd be interesting to have an update from them. So we'll have them on. John or Barbara, anything else that you think you may want to talk about?
Nope, I'm all set, Ron.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm all set.
All-
We'll represent you at the school meetings.
Okay.
Get an update.
Okay. All right. That's great. Anybody with anything else to add? No? All right. The most important motion, John?
Let's see, motion to adjourn.
Yeah. Barbara, anybody want to second that?
Yep, I'll second that.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye, Jay.
Aye.
Hi,
Okay.
Barbara.
Aye,
All
Jay.
right. All right. That's a 3-0. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, KG.
See
Thank
ya.
you, Laura, as usual.
Yeah, we'll
And
work on
Raj?
revising those animal regulations with Jay's suggestions and have
Yeah.
them for the next meeting.
Yeah. So we'll do 4, 5, and the DEP approved innovation. We'll keep that on the agenda in case,
Sounds good.
Raj, you have any updates on that. You don't have to have any, but if there are any and you want to chat about it, it'll be there.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Ron.
All right. Thanks, Laura. Everybody have a good rest of the summer and a good Labor Day, and we'll see you. I'm sure it's Tuesday the 7th. Is that right, Laura?
I believe so. Yeah, that's
Okay.
sounds good.
All right. Terrific. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Sure.
Thank you.
See you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Good day.